Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a short and special episode of I Am NAMI Kansas. This week, we're going to be talking about tardive dyskinesia. Tardive dyskinesia is a movement disorder that can develop in individuals who have taken antipsychotic medications for an extended period of time. Now, by extended period of time, this could be as short as taking an antipsychotic for 3 months. If you've taken any kind of antipsychotic, you're not guaranteed to develop TD, but you have at least a small chance of developing it. If you haven't taken an antipsychotic, then you will not develop TD. TD is specifically associated with antipsychotic medications. Now, despite the fact that antipsychotics are pretty widely taken, a lot of people don't really know about tardive dyskinesia, which is why we are here today. So with me, I have David Larson, one of my coworkers here at NAMI Kansas, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about Tardive Dyskinesia Awareness Week. David, what's TDAW all about?
TDA, or Tardive Dyskinesia Awareness Week, is where we bring awareness to tardive dyskinesia, where people who have TD and people who are not sure about TD, they learn more about it and find ways of finding help.
So there's things you can do, like is there medications? Can doctors treat it?
There are medications, and yes, doctors can treat it. In fact, our next person that will be speaking, Trish Klingenberg, she will be able to share more about her own experience. Absolutely. So Trish Klingenberg is our guest speaker for today. Trish is a person who has experienced tardive dyskinesia firsthand, but in spite of the struggles with TD, Trish is currently serving on the NAMI Wichita board as a state peer leadership council representative. Trish actively participates in the many events of NAMI Wichita, and Trish has been a NAMI member since 2019. So Trish, are you there? And can you share with us what you know about tardive dyskinesia?
Yes, I first got schizophrenia when I was age 57 by a raccoon that ran into my dog, and my dog shook her head, and her saliva went in my eye, and I ended up with tularemia. I carried it for 9 months, and then it turned into schizophrenia. Now, tularemia is the same thing as rabbit fever. Um, anyway, my psychosis got out of control. I wouldn't stay on my oral medicine, so I started getting shots for my schizophrenia. It was about 3 to 6 months later I got TD, and I don't know how my jaw moved, but it would go back and forth, and I'd chomp down, and I'd chew holes in my cheeks. And I started taking a medication to help me with the TD, and it didn't work at first. So we tried the next milligram, and then it didn't work again. It did a little bit, but not enough. So we took the next milligrams, and it seemed to work. And I've been on it for 2 years now, and I haven't had any problems since.
That is awesome, Trish. Thank you very much. So, what you mentioned chewing holes in your cheek and such. What other movements have you experienced, or do you know that tardive dyskinesia brings about?
Well, I do have a frowny face, um, but otherwise, I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any tics. The
Okay.
medicine seems to work.
So I know that with some people who have tardive dyskinesia, the movements or whatever can actually wake them up from sleep or prevent them from getting any sleep. Did that happen with you?
No, I think we caught it early enough because it caused so much destruction that I didn't have that kind of experience.
Okay. So what else would you want people to know about tardive dyskinesia?
Well, it isn't very fun to live with, but thank goodness there's medications out there to help. You just have to talk to your provider, communicate with your provider, and let them know that it's working or not so they can help you.
And for those people who don't have tardive dyskinesia, would you encourage them to not be so judgmental of people who have strange movements or tics, and just to let them know that, hey, we are people living with this condition, and it can be very difficult.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't help with my movements. And I noticed that people in the grocery store would look at me, and it's just part of the illness that you have to live with,
Yep,
and they can't help it.
that's right. So, Isaac, do you have some more information?
Yeah, absolutely. Firstly, I'd love to thank Trish for coming on and sharing a bit about her story. So, if you are interested in talking with your doctor about TD, one thing to keep in mind is that TD sometimes gets misdiagnosed as something like Parkinson's disorder. Parkinson's is a different thing from tardive dyskinesia, but there are similar uncontrollable movements in that regard. So, like Trish said, this is not something that she can control. Her body is just doing it on its own, and that's because of the chemical imbalances going on in the brain caused by the usage of antipsychotics. So if you are experiencing those uncontrollable movements, just make sure that it is or isn't Parkinson's. That's definitely something you want to take into consideration there. And then also, as Trish said, people can't control these movements. So if you ever see someone out in public and they're moving oddly, for instance, a lot of people, like Trish said, her jaw moved around a lot. Some people seem to make like weird facial expressions. They might move their hands or their legs or their torsos in weird ways. That could just be tardive dyskinesia. So we really want to make sure that we're not being judgmental of people, that we're understanding that sometimes people have movement disorders and they can't control what's going on with their body.
Excellent, Isaac. Thank you so very much. And thank you, Trish. You have been phenomenal, and you keep being phenomenal down here in Wichita, Kansas.
Thank you. You are phenomenal too.
We all are, because we are NAMI, right?
That's
I am
right.
NAMI Kansas.
I am NAMI Kansas.
I am NAMI Kansas.
And thank you so much for stopping in to our short and sweet little episode about tardive dyskinesia and Tardive Dyskinesia Awareness Week. If you want to learn more information, please feel free to stop by NeuroCream. They have all kinds of awesome information, and you can find information about NeuroCream as well on NAMI Kansas's website.